Joining me now, Alabama Senator on the Senate Armed Services Committee, Senator Tommy Tuberville. Sir, welcome to you. It's the first time I think we've had you here, sir. Now, since you're new to the Senate, you might be one of the freshest pair of eyes in that once great institution. When the GOP last held power, sir, they used their majority to undermine each other and undermine President Trump. As Romney, Collins, and Murkowski illustrate, there are no unifying principles now in the Republican Party, not even enough unity to stand against those who coddle child predators, who don't have the brains to define what a woman is. They can't even unify the Republicans in opposition to socialism, Senator. So the best thing the GOP has going for it is that it's not Joe Biden. Senator, isn't the GOP making a huge mistake by not doing the work to formulate a unifying vision for the future of the United States?
We have to have a purpose, Chris. And first of all, I'd like to say, what a great monologue. You sound like me sometimes on the campaign trail. It's exactly right. I mean, we're letting this country being turned upside down. And it's not just happening on the Democratic side, it's happening on the Republican side. We can't come to a conclusion of what we are and what we're about. You know, for us to survive in this country, we've got to have a unifying cause and a plan to go forward and not backwards. It's an absolute disaster of what I've seen here in my first year and a half. And again, as you said, you know, we've got some people on the right that's looking for their right in terms of being energized with their power and their push to be reelected, that we're losing. We're losing every day. So hopefully we can regain our stance in what we're doing. We can understand that God is the guy that we need to be looking to. And as you said, this Supreme Court justice is a prime example. We've got Republicans voting for this lady, and it's absolute disaster.
Yeah. Don't let the Surrender Caucus get a hold of you, Senator. Don't let them get a hold of you. Joe Biden pretends that his policies are not causing gas prices to spike. He blames, in typical Democrat fashion, he blames everything else except for his own decisions and his own policies. How do you see it, Senator?
Well, I saw a picture today of Obama and Biden in the White House, and I couldn't pick out which one was the worst president we've ever had. It's a draw, I guess. Both of them are awful, but you know, he can't tell the truth. And he keeps blaming Putin for the energy prices going up when day one, right after he was inaugurated, he closed down the Keystone Pipeline. You know, we pump 5 million barrels of oil a day out of the Permian Basin in Texas, 5 million. And now he's going to take 1 million out of our reserves, which we're going to have to replace. I don't know how we're going to replace them if we're not drilling. But it's a disaster. I mean, they have no clue. There's no organization. There's no plan. The plan of doing away with our energy supplies, the plan of doing away with drilling, give us an alternative of what you're going to do. We can't run this country on EV cars and trucks. It's not going to happen. We have to be energy independent. You know that, I know that, and you know what? They know that. But as you said earlier, 20 to 25% of the people in this country are running this country, the very far left, Marxist, socialist. And it's just, I can't believe that a guy like Joe Biden, who has been an American all of his life, that lived off this great country, that served in the Senate, would go this far left in such a short period of time.
Yeah, I'm with you, Senator. I couldn't believe it myself. And by the way, President Donald Trump stocked the Strategic Petroleum Reserve when gas was cheap. He stocked it when oil prices were cheap. Biden is going to restock them when they're way expensive. Of course, that's the difference between how a conservative / Republican does business and how a Democrat does business. Meantime, sir, Team Biden resurrected, as you know, the Obama Ayatollah nuke deal, a deal that Obama admitted in an NPR interview would result in Iran breaking out with nukes within 10 years. Not only has Biden negotiated a new deal in secret, he's turned to Russia to negotiate on behalf of the United States. Senator, is this a joke? And I can't imagine Israel is laughing right now.
Well, you know why he's using Russia? Because Iran said, we will not sit down face to face with the Americans. So to me, that's deal off as we speak. I mean, if they're not going to look at us in the eye and tell us what they're going to do and what they're not going to do, and sit down with an intention of doing what's right, and go through the Russians, I've looked at a lot of this deal that they're planning, and there's about 15 or 20 things in there that are good for Iran, and there's a couple of things that are good for us, and they don't stack up hardly anything. So this is a John Kerry begin with starter set, so to speak. Israel, we've talked to Israel. I've talked to them many times since these negotiations have been going on. They know that it is a disaster if this goes through, and not just them, the Saudis, anybody that's involved, it's enemies of Iran. But I don't understand why we're even going through these motions. They're going to try to sign this. And the only thing that's holding it up, as you know, this is the Revolutionary Guard. They do not want them to be sanctioned any longer. You know, they've got a hit out on Vice President Pence and John Bolton. And why in the world would we be giving credence to anybody that has a hit on anybody in this country?
It boggles the mind. I mean, there are several Trump administration officials that the Iranians have hits out on, Senator, and of course, maybe that ingratiates the Iranian cause with this current administration. I don't know what to make of it. Senator Tommy Tuberville, thank you, sir. We appreciate your time as always. Come back soon. We couldn't get to the border, but I'm hoping to talk about it with you very, very soon, sir. Thank you very much.